What's happening? Yo, the biggest myth of your 9 to 5 is that more money equals more freedom. Hey guys, real quick, if you're sick of working hard just to stay in the same place financially, then I've got something for you. Just hit the link in the description below or go to my site at homebusinesshustle.com/4 mindset shifts. It's my free guide called The 4 Mindset Shifts That Changed Everything. And it's the first step to breaking free from the financial hamster wheel that you're potentially on right now. Now, with that said, let's talk about something that just gets under my skin, right? So first off, when I was younger, I was a drummer, right? I was obsessed. As I'm sure most of you have, at some point you pick up some instrument and you get so absorbed with it, and it's basically your life, right? Like I would spend, I spend every moment with my drumsticks, dreaming of being a rock star someday, right? But eventually I knew that, that wasn't gonna happen, right? Or so I should say, I came to the realization that being a rock star was not going to happen for me, right? For so many reasons. So, I settled for being an employee, as most of us do. And I'm grinding away, I'm doing my thing one day. And, I finally get the news that we're all waiting for, right? The news that I'm getting a raise, right? And so I'm stoked. I'm practically floating at this point because, I've been hustling. I've been, trying to prove myself, coming in early, leaving late. So I'm super excited because I'm getting a raise, and in my head, I'm already mentally spending that extra cash, right? That extra money. I'm thinking like, oh man, like now I can finally get that new drum set that I've been looking at. That beautiful, shiny, cherry red kit I've been eyeing for months, right? The one that would essentially make me sound like my idols, right? And I was daydreaming about that moment in the car at my desk, even on the trade home for some time, right? I'm thinking about it, the mind is, it's just running circles. And I was already like, I was picturing myself playing on that new drum set, right? I was already feeling the weight of the sticks in my hands, smelling that new drum smell, that new drum kit smell, right? And even though I hadn't even seen the new number on my paycheck yet, like I had the paycheck hadn't even hit my bank account yet. I was already telling my friends and my family, like, yeah, as soon as that paycheck hits, man, dude, I'm pulling the trigger. That's it. And I did, right? In fact, I was so confident in my new wealth, in my new raise, that I essentially charged it to the one credit card that I had that was not maxed out at the time, right? I was saving it for emergency, if you will, right? And, at the time, having that new drum set was essentially an emergency for me, right? And I've got to say, hindsight is truly crystal clear. It is 2020 because years later, right? I was reminiscing on this, that moment, right? And it suddenly hit me. It really hit me hard. So there's this quote from Robert Kiyosaki that popped into my head. And it just I was thinking that getting that raise, that's a trap. That is a trap. That it's like this weird kind of voodoo magic, if you will. And I just had this emotional outburst in my car as I was stuck there in traffic thinking about this, right? And I'm thinking are you kidding me? At the time, I'm thinking to myself, I got this raise, and my first thought wasn't to invest it or to save it or to use it to get out of the rat race, educate myself, something like that, right? It was to go deeper into debt, if you will, right? For of all things, a shiny new toy, a drum set, right? A drum set. Man, I got to tell you, I just started laughing because thinking about it after the fact, right? Like I said, it was ridiculous. I was thinking about this. It's just, I'm getting a raise, but since my mind was still stuck in that employee mode, right? Where you're thinking like an employee, you're doing what employees do. You get a raise and you spend it before, before the before that raise even hits your account. And I'm thinking about what I can buy with it, not what I can build with it. And it's true. You get a raise. Thinking about it, and then what happens, right? Suddenly you think, you can afford a bigger house, a nicer car. And then your taxes go up, and you got more interest to pay on that new debt, right? And just like that, you just increase your two biggest expenses right there, just like that. And now the raise that was gonna set you free, right, seems to be a mirage, an illusion. It wasn't about freedom. It was about, basically trading in your shackles for a shinier set of shackles that keep you tied to your desk, to the man, right? And it's if you ask me, it was designed that way, right? That's how the system keeps you dependent. It's almost as if the system itself wants you to be in debt, and it offers you these little sneaky tax breaks to keep you stuck there. I don't know. That's a little suspicious to me, if you ask. Right? I mean, if you think about it, it's insane how they incentivize you to go deeper into debt. Am I right? Listen, the big lesson here, the core of it, the gist of it is that a raise is not a free pass to buy stuff. It's an opportunity. It's a tool. It's a chance for you to build something for yourself. The minute that you start spending that extra cash, that extra income on toys, you're simply reinforcing the position that you have as an employee in the, in that E quadrant, right? You're trading a raise for a bigger bill, if you will, right? You're taking that money and you're putting yourself deeper into debt. So, okay, well, then what's the practical application here? Like, what's the, how do you apply this reasoning, this logic to your life, right? Well, here's the thing is that when you get a raise, the very first thing that you should do, the very first thing is that you don't even think about spending it. You don't even think about it. Don't let that thought cross your mind. What you want to do is think about investing it. You think about how can you use that money to build a bridge from where you are now to where it is that you want to be, right? Because it's not about what you can buy to make your life more comfortable right now. That's the wrong train of thought to have when you have, you know what I mean? Like it's about what you can invest to build a life of financial freedom in the future. What can you put that money towards that's essentially going to pay back in dividends in the future, right? It's about flipping that script in your head, in your mind, because that's where it all starts, right? Your mindset. You have to change the way you view things, the lens with which you view what it is that you do, right? So listen, be careful with that, with your mindset, okay? Because a raise, as Robert Kiyosaki says, can be a trap. And the instinct to spend more money can keep you locked into your job forever. Period. You want to flip that script by shifting your mindset from a consumer, like that consumer mindset, like I want to buy, to an investor. Like, how can I invest this into my future? If it's more books, more training, or literally investing in real estate or stocks or something like that, right? It's about using every raise, every bonus, every extra dollar that you earned to build something for yourself, right? Not to buy something for you or for someone else, for your family. And so here's the deal, right? If this idea, if this little rant resonates with you, it's most likely because deep down inside of you, you're ready for more. You're ready to break free from the trap, right? And that right there, that's exactly why I put together this free guide for you called The 4 Mindset Shifts That Changed Everything. It's the playbook for exactly this kind of thinking, right? To start reprogramming you from that employee mindset to becoming more business oriented, more investor focused, right? It's what helped me to stop being a consumer and start being a builder, an investor, right? A producer, if you will. And it's completely free, right? Just click the link in the description or go to homebusinesshustle.com, the number 4 mindset shifts, and get your copy right now. No pressure, no pitch, just straight up real talk. Let's go. Let's get it. And I'll talk to you soon. Take care now. Bye.